Hello and welcome back to the living room, or welcome to the living room, depending on if this is your first visit or not. Either way, why do we have a mount? Well, obviously we're going to mount something. That's a given. I have my burlap, I've got some moss, I do have my plant. For those of you who have watched for a little bit, let me move my coffee, might remember this mount. This mount is actually from the Orchid Supply Store, but more importantly, it used to have a beautiful staghorn fern on it. And in my neglect, I was not diligently keeping an eye on it like I did when I first got it. This is what is left of our staghorn fern, right here. As you can see, nada. And what happened was it got infested with mealybugs. She didn't come with mealybugs. They just found her once they got here into the home. And I was not diligent in keeping up with it. And well, I tried to save her. Obviously, I failed. With that said, I went ahead, took her off of there. I have cleaned, sterilized, poured some hot water over this several times, and we are going to put a different orchid on here. So if you watched the unbagging of the Orchid Show orchids, there was one particular orchid that I said I have a plan for, and this is the plan. Now, I did see a display of this orchid at the show, and I thought, oh, that's a wonderful idea. Now, that was before I found the plant that I'm putting on here. Want to know what it is? So, let me reach across here. We, or I, with you supporting me in the background, am going to repot this Maxillaria I got. And let me show you a picture of the blooms, and then there is one bloom on here just in case you missed the unbagging video. Isn't that beautiful? By itself, it doesn't look that stunning because it is so small, but there it is. Look at that. Isn't that kind of pretty? It's very pretty, actually. So I did soak her overnight just in some plain water. I'm not going to do anything with the moss. I'm going to leave whatever moss she came with on her roots. I'm not cleaning up any roots. I'm not taking off any sheaths, which you shouldn't do with a Maxillaria anyway, because there are roots in here that support the plant. So if you tear off the sheaths, and again, if you've been watching me for a while, you know how I am about sheaths, but this is an exception. I have to remember that it is just part of her process. And I already have my wire ready. So what I'm going to do, ideally, hold on, let me put the wire back here. So ideally what I'd like to do is, let me take her out real quick. Ideally what I would like to do is, she's got two beautiful new growths coming in right here. They are both in active root growth at the moment. Growth. How many times can I say growth in this video? Let me know down below. You can see here she did get a little dehydrated. Well, maybe there we go. This section here is really constantining. I'm thinking of just cutting that leaf off. Not yet. I don't want to stress her more. But since they have an upright growing habit, I'm thinking of starting her kind of down here. Kind of like that. You know what? Let me see if oh, you can see it. Okay, I didn't think you could see that, but kind of right here, and then she has all of this mount that she can grow up on. I think that's a great idea. So with that said, let me loosen some of the moss just to loosen her roots a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to undo anything, just kind of loosen it a little bit so it's not so compacted. And she has a little more breathing space there. All right, with that, let me move her over here for a second because I do need to get the wire in that I started a minute ago. So it's already got holes in it from where the staghorn fern was hooked on. So I do have here, and then we'll go down here. And this is just bonsai wire that I'm using. I'm just going to set it right where I kind of want her. And then I'm going to tighten it, not super tight, because this is not what's going to actually hold her onto the mount. It's actually going to hold her onto the mount. I'm going to show you. I'm going to just twist it back here in the back so I can close off this so it doesn't loop through when I'm trying to do my thing. There we go. Now in this moss that I'm using, which you can get from Orchid Supply Store, as well as small, medium, large Orchiata Bark and perlite, all of these products are sold over at the Orchid Supply Store along with orchids, houseplant materials, birdhouses, pretty much anything for any type of gardener. It has been soaked in just plain filtered water, 0 pH went in, because as we know, moss can get a little high on the pH. I am going to do this. Hopefully this works out as good on this mount as I have it imagined in my head. One can only hope. Let me know what your thoughts are once I'm done. And I am going to get this moss kind of high up in here because, again, we have some new root growth there. Oh, I put her on there backwards. I wanted to put the new growth actually up against the mount. Oh, Patricia. Let's see if we can do this. Get her out here. And then tuck her back in. Well, well, well. So I want to put, even though the flower spike is on here, I'll forfeit that flower spike. Matter of fact, let me just pinch it off real quick. If I can. My fiskars are not nearby. There we go. I'm going to forfeit the flower spike because since her direction of growth is kind of right in there, like right here, I kind of want to put her this way. I want to put the new growth so it can grow up against the board instead of up into the air. Did not pay attention to that when I initially laid her down. Let me just get her tucked back in up under here real quick. Under the loop. There we go. And then let's get some moss up under here where those lovely roots are coming in. There we are. And ideally, as she's going up, I can just continue to add moss to continue getting her hydration. That's if she needs it. Depending on the strength of her roots going up, she might not even need that. And there we go. Tuck it in there really good. I want to make sure though I'm not going to be keeping the bulbous areas too wet. So there's a lot looking out for here. And the more I look at this concertining, the more I want to just take it off. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave it, let her settle in. So it does look like I'm putting a lot of moss because I am. But wait for it. And what I'm going to do after this, I actually am stealing from Ken over at the Orchid Supply Store. So if you've never seen any of his videos, I do have his channel linked, or the Orchid Supply channel, which is Ken's store, down in the description below. Go check it out. He has been doing weekly giveaways, and Miss Anita Brown is the luckiest because I know she's won a couple of times. The rules are really, really simple on what you need to do. So there we are. Okay. All right, now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this piece of burlap and I purposely cut where the fold is because what I want to do is move some of this stuff out of the way, get a cup of coffee here, move that way over there. What I want to do, ideally, is take this and just kind of tuck it right at the fold here, and then take this and just, let's see, we want to fold it over, make it look a little nice. Fold her over and just kind of make her a little burlap bed, so to speak. Now, here's the trick. Ken staples his burlap. I do not have the strength to staple. I tried it on a couple of other mounts and it is not working out. This might not be as easy as I am imagining it. A little cumbersome, but you know what? We're going to work through it. Let's just get this here bent onto there. There we go. And with the burlap, it'll keep the moisture in a little bit longer. It is kind of airy, but the idea is to help keep the moss on, obviously, and also keep the moisture in a little bit longer. And I'm not doing it really tight, actually. That was the purpose of securing my lovely orchid to the mount first. And I don't want it too tight at the top. This way, if I need to add more moss into it later, she's got a little pocket in there. Let's go around one more time. Right here, gently, and done. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch it so it's kind of hooked on to the edge, like so. Just pinching the sides here, and that kind of locks the wire to the mount without it being too tight across here. So now I'm going to gently turn it around so that I can loop it off. And you know what? Me, being the smart person I am, did not bring anything to cut. So I got to get up anyway. Give me 1 second. I'm going to edit out me moving, going to get my scissors. So give me 1 sec. All right, back. So just cut it off there. And I am going to put that back there so I can find where the end is and put it in there together. And what I like to do is I like to go through all of the wraps that I do and just kind of pull it a little snug, and then just come up against here and tie it off. It doesn't have to be super tight. I just wanted it enough to, and then let me just press all of these. So there's kind of what she looks like. I might put another wire across here just to kind of hold her in, or get some craft glue and just kind of glue that section down. But I'll do that later. But there she is. Well, I guess you can't see her. Well, move that. There she is. So I'll put the tag on there, and then we will go from there. I think she's going to look lovely. Look just lovely. Leave in the comments below what you think about my little concoction here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.